If you want to grow in life, learn to trust God and embrace the storms. God promises to bring us good from the storms in our lives. Besides, no one wants to trudge in deep rivers of hurt, pain, loss, rejection, or even find our way out of the darkness of confusion and doubt. 1 Peter 4:12 through 13 tells us, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice, inasmuch as ye are partakers of Christ's suffering, that, when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. So we must choose to live intentionally for Christ and choose to rejoice and to keep on rejoicing. This walk, this journey, it's a faith walk. It's a progressive walk. So when the storms arise in our lives, we must become like an eagle during the storm. God never promised that we would never experience storms, but he promised us that he would be with us during the storm. Just remember, he won't take us into the wilderness or take us out of the wilderness for nothing. When God is about to do something massive in our lives, we may go through hell, high water, we may even feel like we're drowning. And the Bible tells us, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but when the desire comes, it is a tree of life. And that's Proverbs 13:12. There will be absolutely a time, a moment when we realize there's a reason for going through everything that we've been through. And eventually, all things, and I mean all things, will fall in place. And we will walk into our very own promised land here on earth. God doesn't want us to become limited to our backgrounds. He wants us to escape and be free from the dimensions from where we come from. If we are controlled by our past, then we will forever be controlled by our past. And we'll never realize what God is calling us to. He will allow us to have growth experiences, ones that are not all comfortable. They just don't feel right, but God's experiences are always perfect. He will ultimately promote us into a position of influence where we'll be connected to others that know the way to the next dimension. But we must, and I mean we must, be willing, open, and available to do what's necessary so that what God has decreed will come to pass in our lives in a systematic way. Stages of transitioning begins. We will be so far from where we used to be, but so far from our destiny. We are in between the wilderness and the promised land. And the only comfort we know is that which Job knew, and that is the Lord knows where I am. Job 23:10, it says, But he knoweth the way that I take. When he hath tried me, I shall come forth as gold. So we must prepare for what God is about to do in our lives. And we need to be doers of the word, not hearers of the word. Don't just wish, dream, hope, and pray. Just get into motion and do what needs to be done in order to get to our goals. An eagle knows when a storm is drawing near long before it breaks. It will fly to a high place and wait for the winds to come. When the storm breaks, the eagle sets its wings so that the wind will pick it up and lift it above the storm. So while the storm is raging below, the eagle is soaring above it. The eagle doesn't escape the storm, but it takes advantage of the storm. It uses the storm to lift it higher and higher and higher. It rises on the winds that bring the storm. So when storms come upon our lives like an eagle, we can rise above it. Whatever our greatest challenges is right now, we can rise above it all and enter into our very own promised land here on earth, full of purpose, passion, peace, strength, and prosperity. Because it's through our own pains, our own struggles, hardships, loss, rejection, and so on, that we have a better understanding of one another. So let's become like the eagle during the storm. Let's get so focused and centered on God that we can recognize when a storm is drawing near long before it breaks. Let's fly to a high place and patiently wait for God to bring the winds to come and set our wings so that the wind will pick us up and lift us above the storm. While the storms of life rages below us, we will be soaring above it, not escaping the storm, but taking full advantage of the storm. Let's use the storm to lift us higher and rise on the winds that the storm brings. So when storms come upon our lives like an eagle, we can rise all.